Hello, I'm Kai Vaxdal, the product manager for Compliance Blade at Checkpoint. You're being contacted because this month there are customers who have Compliance Blade renewals due. Just as a reminder, the Compliance Blade is termed as your trusted automated advisor. It is designed to help to increase your security scores, detect any human error, and help you to achieve regulatory security compliance. The way that the Compliance Blade works is to detect any misconfigurations or any areas where you are not setting up your compliance and your checkpoint system in line with best practices. And this has been identified doing our security reports through Checkpoint, which has found year after year that over 27% of our corporate customers are still misconfiguring their systems by using setups, rules, and any except instances which are not ideal for use with our firewalls. The way that the Compliance Blade works is to match your setup against security best practices, and these come from three areas. Checkpoint themselves have written hundreds of security best practices and included those in the Compliance Blade. You also have security best practices available based on regulatory requirements, like GDPR, ISO 27001, and NIST requirements. There are also security best practices available either from your partner, your reseller, or the customer themselves is able to create new best practices within the system. Once the system has been activated using a simple click button, it is then looking for any errors and will report those to you in the form of either a view screen where you can click to find out exactly where you have misconfigured, or by emailing the head of security, the head of networks, perhaps your auditors, or maybe even your compliance officers with a report that shows how well or not you're currently doing. The customer objections that we face most are these. Number one, we're only doing a renewal and we have no time for new products at the moment. Please understand the Compliance Blade is purely a management tool. It is not a new product. And in fact, it is included free for the first year that you use management from Checkpoint. And also I would ask you, why are you renewing all of the things you have from Checkpoint without checking to see that they are working properly? I have 10 other projects at the moment. We hear this a lot. If the customer is so busy, then please explain to them that the Compliance Blade is there to help them increase their efficiencies on those projects. It may well be the reason they're so busy fighting fire is that the misconfiguration that they've got, they're not following these best practices, is leading Checkpoint to not protecting them in the way that it was designed to do. And what about all those unused and old rules? One of the key components of Compliance Blade is that it can be asked to look for old and unused rules. As you can appreciate, it is not best practice to have hundreds or thousands of rules built into the system which are not being used anymore. So perhaps we should look at those and get rid of them to help increase efficiencies. And remember, the Compliance Blade is already implemented into the management that you have. It's just a checkbox. You don't need to take people off other projects to activate the Compliance Blade or set it up. It is literally the work of one click button to activate the Compliance Blade. If customers say that they're speaking with AlgoSec and Tufin already and they don't want to look at a competitive product, please understand these are not competitive products. Most of the big customers who use Compliance Blade also use those AlgoSec and Tufin-like products. We're not looking to replace them. In fact, we are complementary. We work together. AlgoSec, Tufin, Skybox, those sorts of products are designed to work with multiple vendors, firewalls, to see if they are working well together. The Compliance Blade is a purely Checkpoint product designed to look at all of the areas within your Checkpoint network security system to make sure it's working well. The compliance system also then looks like this. In a live environment, the report that you get is how well you are doing and how well you're following best practices. Secure means you are following best practices. Good means you are, but you need to tighten the strings. Medium says you've started to look at best practice, but have some work to do. And poor, which is the area that I would concentrate on, will highlight then any areas of your checkpoint network security system where you are not following best practices. In this case, what I've done is I've arranged them by security blade. So you see here some of the antivirus, application URL, and firewall best practices are not being followed. Taking this one as an example, check that anti-spoofing has been activated. It says here poor, meaning we have not activated anti-spoofing. Back to the main page, you can see here a report by overall security level, by gateways, depending on how you're split, and then also showing you a report based on all of the different security blades you may have from Checkpoint to see which ones are working well and which ones perhaps you're not using correctly. Below that, we also have a regulatory compliance report showing you, for instance, PCI, HIPAA, NIST, and ISO standards that refer to specifically how you're using your network security system. And we would like to help to make sure that you are in line with those legal requirements that unfortunately we all have to follow. We need your help to make sure that the customers are renewing these. And this video is designed to explain what it is doing, how we are helping them, and the value of the product to ensure that they renew.